Hey guys, happy Friday everyone. Don't mind me while I put my lip gloss on while we get started here. I wanted to go live and do like a little chit chat, manifestation chit chat with you guys. Actually I don't think I'm gonna wear the glasses. And I have some cards as usual, but I wanted to not make the topic of this one tarot because I feel like when I was doing the readings, I was getting like people who just don't get what I teach about. So anyway, say hello as you guys hop on. Thanks for joining me. I am going to do a general reading just for fun. Just kind of see what the energies are this weekend, get you guys some messages. But my main goal was I wanted to answer any of your questions about manifesting, law of assumption, any of the stuff I talk about. So if you follow me, you know what I talk about. If you haven't followed me, that's what I teach, and I would love to connect with you. So feel free to stick around, ask any questions, give me a follow, all the things. Hello to everyone joining. Feel free to say hello. Let me know where you're joining from. If you guys have any about manifestation, assumption, law of attraction, just put it in the comments below and I'll riff on it and we'll talk about it. Hi, Alex. Welcome. It's nice to see some new faces here. Hi, Aisha. Hello. Sorry if I mess up your names. I do my best. But welcome, everyone. Let me pull a card just to see like what is coming up, and maybe it'll be like a good conversation starter, and then we'll dive into any questions and see what comes up. I said it correctly. Yay! Wow, awesome. How's everyone's Friday, or I guess Saturday, depending on where you are in the world? Wow, 4 cards came out. Let me see what's going on. Oh, wow. Okay. So there's like, you guys have been manifesting, and let me know as I do this, let me know if this resonates. Can I ask about forward movement from someone in separation? Yeah, we'll talk about that in a minute. Okay. And maybe you can explain in the comments a little more what you mean about that. But let me just do this general reading real quick before we dive in talking about manifestation. Okay, so we have emergence. So it's like a new you being born. Focus. You guys have been intentionally manifesting. I feel like many of you understand identity shifting, reality shifting, how to shift your paradigm. Give me some hearts and comments if that resonates. You've really been purifying. So we have purification and DNA karma here. So it's like you guys have really been doing the inner work to purge old programming, old ways of thinking, old negative emotions and cycles. You've been working to do that. What it's doing is, as you've been purging this and as you've been focusing on the new reality that you want to create, you're being reborn. It's like a whole new version of you coming through. So that's really exciting. So yeah, just like the message for this is continue to let the old fall away. You know, when those old stories come up, when the old fears come up, when the doubts come up, all of that, when you feel triggered, just let it fall away. Let the old story fall away. Don't emotionally react. You know, instead of getting caught up in that downward negative cycle, put your focus on what it is you're creating, on this new you that you are birthing. So I'm excited to have you guys here with me. Let me go and read the comments here. You can, yes, I am answering questions about manifestation, law of assumption. That is my vibe. I can pull a card if you want, but I don't do like yes, no things. I don't tell you if your ex is coming back. Like I don't do that kind of level stuff. I'm more so to help you do the inner work. Okay. I help people medical responsibility. I'm trying to empower people over here. Okay. So Alex, can you give me a little more clarification on your question? Because you were the first question and I would like to answer it. You said, can I ask about forward movement from someone in separation? Are you asking how, like with an SP, whether that's in love or like family or whatever, like you're wanting to reconnect? Are you asking how to get someone to come towards you? If you can clarify that, that will help me answer it correctly for you. Okay, Aisha, I don't do these kinds of questions. I don't do these like, will my boyfriend do this questions. I do like personal development, okay? I'm gonna go ahead and I don't know if Alex is still here, but I'm gonna go ahead and just kind of riff on what she said. So she was talking about separation. So this happens, we hear about this a lot. And Alex, if I see you comment, if you're still here, let me know, clarify for me all the things, but this would be a good starting point. So in the law of assumption community, in the manifestation community, we hear a lot about manifesting an SP, meaning a specific person. And in that, oftentimes we have a lot of shitty stories going on, right? We've had breakups, we've had separations, sometimes no contact, sometimes there's a third party, or there's family in the way, or work in the way, or distance in the way, something. And what that is a block, okay? And these blocks, we manifest them, right? So really what we need to understand with law of assumption is everyone is us pushed out. So I don't know if you guys have heard about that. Feel free to let me know in the comments if you are familiar with everyone is you pushed out. That's a term you'll hear in the Neville Goddard law of assumption community. But essentially what it's saying is that everyone and everything that we experience is reflecting back to us something that we are holding internally, okay? So when we understand this from a quantum physics point of view, when we look at that, it's like every probability and possibility exists. So for me, for example, there are infinite versions of me available. There's a version of me who's a manifestation coach. There's a version of me who's an engineer. There's a version of me who doesn't work, whatever. There's infinite versions, right? And you tap into the one that you are consciously focused on, okay? So it goes the same for other people. So when you're talking about an SP, there's a version of your SP who loves and adores and respects you and cherishes you and wants to commit to you. There's a version of your SP that's the complete opposite of that. There's a version of your SP who's with someone else. There's like infinite versions, okay? And whatever version you are getting is based off of the story you're telling. So a lot of people, when they're like wanting to manifest a specific person, they get hung up on two things. One, they're looking too much at like the outside, and they're putting too much focus on what the old story has been, instead of understanding that in each now moment you have the power to choose how they're going to show up. Because the thing is, it's really not about the other person, it's about us. So the thing is, are you identifying as someone who is claimed, who is shown up for, who is loved, who is wanted, who is more than good enough, who's chosen, who's committed to, who is celebrated, right? Or do you identify as the person who always gets cheated on, who's always the backup option, who never gets claimed, who, you need to look at that and see. Because the thing is, depending on what your self-concept is, depending on how you choose to think of and view yourself, the version of you that you're claiming internally determines the version of them that you're going to experience in your reality, okay? And this is really hard for people to grasp because, when shitty things happen to us, we feel like victims, and it's understandable because we don't realize how powerful we are. We don't realize that we're the ones creating it. But that's how powerful you are, that just by changing your concept of yourself, you get to shift what shows up for you externally. And it's not about manipulating anyone or anything outside of you. It's about taking radical responsibility for the fact that it's you and it has always been you creating your reality. So much of this is about self-love. I know people get really annoyed when I talk about that, but it's true. It's funny that sometimes we want to resist the one thing that would change everything, because we kind of the ego will have us thinking well, I can't love myself because clearly I'm not lovable. I'll be lovable when I make the money, when I have the success, when I lose the weight, when I get the boyfriend or girlfriend or whatever, right? But ironically, it's not that. It's when we start choosing ourselves and loving ourselves and committing to doing this inner work, our inner alignment work, essentially, that then everything can show up. Does that make sense? Let me know if there's any questions on that or anything you want me to go deeper into. Let me read through the comments here. Okay. I'm having trouble forcing on myself. Do you mean focusing on yourself? Was that a typo? It's a common kind of trap or thing that, I shouldn't say trap, but just easy like mistake to make is that we focus on people. Okay, got you. We focus on people and circumstances outside of us because that's like a natural human reaction, right? Well, that's like what we see, that's what we sense with our five senses. But really stepping into your power is about tapping into that inner unseen world, right? So we have to momentarily, if we want to be really powerful creators, we have to not be so dependent on what we see with our physical eyes and really tap into our inner knowing, your imagination. That's your creativity. That's your God power. That's your God-given ability to create what you want, your imagination, your intuition, right? And the beautiful thing is that no matter how limited you may seem on the outside in the physical material world, your spirit, your soul, your imagination, your inner creative power is always totally unlimited. No one and nothing can stop you from dreaming a new dream, right? So it's really about shifting your consciousness and where you're putting your focus. And so even if everything looks like it's totally gone to shit outside of you, you know, you can dream up something new within you. And if you stay loyal to that, it will be reflected in the outer world. Everything will shift some way, somehow, sometimes in a seemingly logical, normal progression, like it looks like it was always going to happen that way, or sometimes in big, crazy, miraculous, quick ways. There's really no saying how things will shift. All I can tell you is that they will shift, okay? Everyone has their own path for this. But the reason why things will shift outside once you shift internally is because the outside, this is called the mirror effect, guys. And if this is something you want to learn more about, you can look at my, at the top of my profile. The link there has link for all the things to work with me, readings, all of that, programs. But I have my manifestation self-concept guide and I explain the mirror effect in there and like a lot more in depth. But basically what that is saying is that the outside, the physical, isn't the source. Your internal, the unseen is the source, okay? And the outside world is simply reflecting back to you like a mirror your concept of yourself and what you're thinking inside, okay? So the concept of our concept of ourself is made up of different things. One, it's like the stories we're telling, right? You know, that little voice in your head, like the little voice in your head all day. It's how you're thinking about yourself, how you're thinking about other people, how you're thinking about the world at large, your place in the world, how people treat you, what you get to have, right? And, you know, the thoughts you think affect how you feel. If you're thinking shitty thoughts, you're going to feel shitty. If you're thinking empowering thoughts, you're going to feel good, right? If you're thinking loving thoughts, you're going to feel good. And those things combined create your energy, and that's your energetic point of attraction, okay? So law of attraction is a little different, in my opinion, than law of assumption. Law of attraction is saying that like attracts like, okay? But I don't like to think of it that way because it kind of seems like, oh, you're trying to get something from the outside world to come to you. I prefer the law of assumption because it really helps you take your power back. It's saying, I'm not trying to get anything from outside of me. I'm the source. I become it internally. I choose it, and then it shows up. Then it's reflected back to me. Does that make sense? I have no idea. People are saying crazy things on here. Okay. Does anyone... I don't know what Rainbow Tarot's saying. I don't hate any of my exes. I mean, they're exes for a reason, but I don't hate anyone. And I'm gay, so I'm not dating men over here. But anyway, does anyone... I'm going to ignore... I have to like filter these comments. Weed through the riffraff. Okay. But if anyone has any questions on that, let me know. Do you guys have any questions about law of assumption, manifestation, any of that? I went on a long riff about like the mirror effect. We talked about specific person, self-concept. If you guys have any questions, let me know. Also, I'll just let you guys know while you're here, if you're not following me yet, I would love to connect with you. Feel free to give me a follow if you like this kind of content. I put content out every single day, and I'm starting to do these lives more often. I'm just kind of playing around with different times and days to see which one works best for me. And also there's YouTube channels. I have 2 different YouTube channels linked at the top of my page. Obviously those are free. They're self-paced programs, readings, and also, sorry, I'm reading these comments, and also readings and email coaching. Rainbow Tarot says, I was sarcastically responding to someone else. Okay. Well, I'm not going to be able to keep up with all the comments. I'm just going to pay attention. If anyone has any questions, let me know. Let me go ahead and pull another card, while I wait for you guys. I thought you were asking us. I hate my ex. I was like, no, I don't hate my ex. I hope no one hates their ex, and that's actually, while we're speaking about specific people, like manifesting a specific person. I'm loving this. I'm laughing at this. Guys, this is like only my third time going live, so it's like I have to get used to all the comments and stuff. So don't mind me while I figure things out. But yeah, speaking about that, and your energy and your point of attraction and all of these things, one of the best ways to like heal your energy. So a lot of clients ask me this is forgiveness. So like not being bitter, not holding on to any resentment, that will always act as a block, because really when we talk about everyone's you pushed out, like we're all connected. Yeah. So like harboring like bitterness or anger or hatred towards anyone is really like, it's not loving to yourself. And we block our blessings then. So one of the best ways to like close out old cycles is to just release people and circumstances with love, and most of all, forgive yourself, because I think at the end of the day, that's usually who we're most upset with anyway. Like we think we're mad at someone else, but really it's like we're mad that we tolerated it or, didn't know better, whatever. Let me read this question. Gabby says, does the law of attraction work if you want someone to return back into your life? Yeah, it does. This is exactly what we're talking about manifesting a specific person. So Gabby, a lot of people come to the law of attraction, law of assumption, because they're wanting to manifest someone back, like manifest an ex back or, whatever. And I'm going to tell you my best advice for that is you need to clear the old stories. So whatever was in the way before, whether it was a third party, whether it was like a disagreement or misunderstanding or a fight or whatever, or something happens, like it's going to be hard to manifest them back and keep them if you still have that old story active. So what you want to do, and forgiveness work is great for this, is you have to release the old story. You have to understand that any separation that happened in that relationship in the past was just due to old programming and an old story that you were carrying about love, about yourself. Maybe you didn't think you were worthy. Maybe you think all men or women are cheaters, whatever your old story is. So you have to clear the old story and then just tell the new story the way you want it to be. And I always do recommend with my clients, yes, definitely affirm for what you want. So if you're affirming for, you want them to be contacting you regularly, you want really good communication, you want to be pursued, you want to be taken out, committed to all of these things, you can affirm that. But mostly you want to focus on you. You really want to focus on who are you in that relationship, right? So are you the woman who is the top priority? Of course you are, because you're amazing, you're wonderful, you're incredible, you're beautiful inside and out, you have a beautiful energy, people feel so good in your presence. Like, of course you're loved. It's impossible not to love you. You're the best there is. You get affection and attention all the time because you're a queen and you deserve that. Like, of course they want to be around you because you feel amazing to be around. They're always showing up for you. Like, kind of get into that vibe of like, who are you in that relationship, instead of being like, checking their Facebook, like, are they talking to their ex? You got to let go of the old story, whatever the old story is for you. Does that make sense? Let me read here. So Gabby, let me know if that makes sense, and if you have any more questions or want me to elaborate any more on that. And thanks for the hearts, everyone. If you're enjoying this, feel free to follow me. Feel free to share this live. You can check the links for all the different ways to work with me, or check out my channels, all the things at the top of my page. Stephanie, is Kent telling me the truth about hanging out with his guy friends tonight? Stephanie, I don't do those kinds of readings. Oh, thank you for the rosemary. Thank you. I don't even know what guys, this is only my third time going live, so I don't know what the roses are. So if someone, tell me what the roses are. I know it's like a gift, but thank you. I don't even know how to send them. I'm still kind of like new to the TikTok lives, but thank you so much for being here, everyone. It's nice to connect with you. Stephanie, I don't do those kinds of questions. Really, law of assumption, you want to decide. So, like, I wouldn't even worry about what he's, let's tap into the secure version of you, the version of you who's, I don't know if Kent your boyfriend? Like, I'm just going to assume that Kent's your boyfriend or a guy you're interested in. Who are you in your highest version of this? Are you in a relationship with this man who is honest with you, who loves you, who respects you, and you feel confident and you know you're a bad bitch. And in fact, even if he wasn't being honest, you really don't care because you know if it's not him, you're going to get the love you deserve from someone else. That's a really nice detached place to be in. But you can have what you want. So if this is the person you want to be with, I want you to get clear on how do you want to be treated? How do you want to feel on a day-to-day basis in this relationship? Because I guarantee you, your highest version, the version you're really desiring, isn't asking those questions, okay? And I know when we've had past experiences that are shitty that make us not trust, it's like, it's not a good feeling, right? But you have to understand that you are the point of attraction and the source of this. You hold the cards. You're the ultimate power here. Okay. You're the one creating your life and your story. So I'm not sure if you're familiar with law of assumption, but yeah. So this actually is why I put on here law of assumption talk, because the last 2 times I've gone live, I've put on that I'm doing the cards and I got a lot of people asking me this kind of stuff. Like, I'm not here to like do that. I'm here to help empower you. Let me know if that makes sense, guys. Lady says, so true, right? Okay. Once upon a time, do you think it's okay to distance myself from them in 3D in order to let go of the old story? Yeah, definitely. Do whatever you need to do. Because sometimes when we have the old story really active, it's hard to take a step back from that story while still interacting with people. So do whatever you need to do and just trust yourself. Yeah. Like sometimes it's really good to just give yourself some space when you're recreating something to kind of like purge the old stories. Yeah. Let me know if you have more questions on that. Gabby, what do you need to know about your love life? Self-love, baby. That's where it's at. Hi, Lisa. How are you? So yeah, Gabby, what do you need to know about your love life? I want you to work on your relationship with you. I'm not even doing card pulls right now, guys. I'm just talking about law of assumption. I'm not doing card pulls because I was tired of the ex. Like, is my ex coming back questions? Because that's like not what I'm interested in talking about. It is true, Gabby. You're right. And you're welcome once upon a time. I'm good, Lisa. Just chilling on Friday. Will Jamal contact me from prison? Guys, are you hearing what I'm saying? I literally have nothing in this topic about cards or like things. This is literally, I'm talking about law of assumption. So this is like if you want to be in your power and like intentionally create your life. This is like if you want to focus on you, because ironically, when you focus on you instead of other people and situations outside of you and you get your energy right, like you can have whatever you want and it gets to be easy. Well, Gabby, my whole page is all about law of assumption. So feel free to give me a follow if you're not already and look through my content. If anyone knows how to make playlists on here, please let me know. I don't know if you need a certain number of followers to do that, but I was trying to figure out how to do playlists to get my content organized for you guys. So it's like easy to go and look through by topic. So if anyone knows, feel free to tell me. I'll search YouTube again. Go through and look at my content. I teach a lot about it. There's a lot of other good like law of assumption coaches here and on YouTube as well. So just, whatever like specific area you're struggling with, just like search it and you'll find the right people and you'll know if something feels right you'll know if it's right for you based off of how it feels. Like, just trust your intuition with it. Okay, let me see. You want to be so fruitful this year. Well, I am in agreement with that for you, Gabby. I am in agreement with you that you step into your most abundant, prosperous timeline. You get to have abundance on all levels. That is like your soul's plan for you, is for you to thrive in every area. And I know that if you commit to this, if you really commit to yourself, that you're going to be guided and led to your steps for that. So I am in full agreement with you for that. So let's set that intention together right now. MZN, how much should you affirm? Affirm as much as you want. So there's no like right or wrong way to do this. I was talking about this on the live yesterday. Like the techniques aren't what manifests. The techniques are to convince you that you get to have what you want, because the only one you need to convince is you, because the only one generating your reality is you. Okay. So the techniques, and affirming is a technique, and that's one of my favorite techniques, because we're thinking all the time. Every thought you think is an affirmation. That's to help you tell a new story. So the brain does, so if you want to look at this scientifically, the brain does learn from repetition. So essentially, when we think a thought over and over again, Abraham Hicks says it like this: the belief is simply a thought you continue to think, and you get to choose what you believe. Okay. But scientifically, when you think a thought over and over again, repetitively, it forms a neural pathway in your brain. And that's essentially like what your programming is. It's like your subconscious programming. So think about it like this. Have you ever been driving, like, let's say you're driving or walking somewhere that you've been so many times before, you know it like the back of your hand, you don't need GPS or anything. You probably don't even know what the street names are called if you're like me. You just know, like, oh, I turn right here and I turn left here. Okay. So let's say you're like driving and you space out, right? You're like lost in thought, or a really good song comes on and you're like really busy listening to that. And then all of a sudden, before you know it, time has flown. You're already at your destination and you don't even remember driving there. Well, your conscious mind was elsewhere, right? You're like lost in your mind, thinking about something, jamming to the music, whatever. But your subconscious mind is what kicked in and like had that muscle memory to get you to your destination, right? So what we need to understand mindset wise and scientifically, if you want to like understand this a little more logically, is our mind is split into two: conscious and subconscious. The conscious mind can be thought of like the masculine brain, like the logical, right? But that's only 5%. This is why they say God is a woman, because the subconscious mind is like your feminine. It's the unseen. It's the part that's submerged behind the scenes that we don't see. That's 95%, which is actually running the show. Okay. So how does the subconscious get programmed? The subconscious gets programmed by repetition. Okay. So at first, when you're affirming, likely you're not going to believe your affirmations, because likely you're affirming for something that you do not physically have. Right. So let's say you're someone who struggles with confidence and you're like, you struggle with body image or whatever. And all of a sudden you're like, I love my body. I'm lean, I'm fit, I'm sexy, I'm hot, I'm a catch. And you're looking in the mirror and you're like, this isn't true. You're like, I've been overweight my whole life, or whatever your story is, right? Like, it's not going to seem true to you at first, because your dominant thoughts in the past have been, I'm out of shape. I don't have good health. I don't have a good body, right? So you have to be consistent with the new story over and over and over again until your brain finally gets the message of like, oh, wow, this is what it is now. So this is the idea of affirming, okay? And there's different ways you can do this. You can do it consciously affirming. You can do this through scripting. You can rewire your subconscious through visualization. You can use subliminals. I have a subliminal channel. You can check it out. I'm working on a membership too, for like a whole, because I've had lots of people request, because people like my guided meditations and affirmation tracks. But anyway, so you can use all these different tools. I see a lot of people using the tools, but then letting their mind drag them around all day. So you want to remember that like affirming is good to sit down and affirm, right? Like you can have a session where you're going to affirm or you're going to script or whatever. But if the rest of the day you're thinking shitty thoughts, like that's what's getting programmed. So really with affirming, understand that thoughts are affirmations. So even if it's hard to sometimes, so I kind of went all long riff and rant about this, but I think this is like helpful for people, hopefully. So let me know if this is helpful. But like, so, it's not so much about like needing to affirm all day long. It's more so like keeping your thoughts in check. Okay. So like paying attention to your mental diet. So even if you intentionally affirm for what you want for just a few minutes a day, if the rest of the day you make sure you're not telling contradictory stories, like you're not opposing your affirmations, you're fine. Okay. So if you're someone who has a lot of resistance to your new story, one of the best things you can do is like affirm for a little bit, or do like a nighttime affirmation track. And then during the day, just stay positive and go general and be like, you know what? I don't need to overthink this. I don't need to worry about it. I trust that it's all being worked out for me. Like go with general affirmations like, I'm in my highest timeline now. This is being resolved. The infinite intelligence within me is unlimited. It is solving this for me, because really that's what's happening. Like the infinite intelligence within you is going to take those instructions and run with it. But we get in the way because then we doubt, we fear, we rehash the old story. You want to make sure when things happen that trigger the old story for you, that you do not emotionally react to that, because emotions are very powerful. When you emotionally react to something in a negative way, it's signaling that you feel like a victim. It's signaling that you believe your old story more than your new story. So you just have to practice like your emotional intelligence, like staying really calm when you feel triggered. Like, so these are the things you can do. You don't have to affirm all day. Affirm as much as it feels good, but don't be affirming, and then reacting and thinking shitty thoughts and then wondering why nothing's happening, because that's like split energy. The best way is to just let it be easy. I really am a fan of the nighttime tracks. I love those. And then during the day, like, stay busy having fun. And anytime you think about, stay busy doing your things, taking care of yourself, doing things that feel good. And anytime you think about your manifestation or anytime you feel triggered, just affirm that everything's working out for you. Practice breath work. You can meditate, those kinds of things. Optional, not necessary. Let me scroll through. So that was long. Let me grab a little bit of water and let me read the rest here. Love your skills with words, girly. Your videos are great. Oh, thank you. Thank you, Mashed. And Gabby, yes, that is your new intention for this year. This is going to be the best year of your life, and it's just going to keep getting better, because that's how it goes, guys. You just got to get on that positive upward, like create that good positive momentum. So true. I scroll right past some content creators and I really treasure other ones. I'm not sure what you were talking about with that, but yeah, there's a lot of good content. You'll be led to the right ones, whatever ones feel good to you. I think that's what you're talking about. Yeah. Everything you think is an affirmation. Thank you. You're welcome. It's true. So it's so much easier than you think. And even if you're like, so sometimes when we're in a really negative space, when we're really triggered or things are really shitty, which like sometimes they are, and I get it, I've been there. It can be hard and almost create more resistance to them be telling the complete opposite. So you can kind of bridge it. And again, guys, I go really deep into this in my self-concept manifestation guide. So you can check that out. That's like a really good tool. I also have a whole program on it if you want like a whole program, Manifestation Mastery. But you can use bridge statements. So like the more general ones, the umbrella ones, like everything's working out. This is getting better and better. It's getting easier and easier for me to think better thoughts. Today, I'm not going to worry about this. I'm just going to play and have fun and like trust that it's getting taken care of, right? Like you can go with those general things. And the more you do that, instead of getting sucked back into the old story and affirming things like, oh, this always happens, nothing's working, manifestation is bullshit, it works for everyone but me, instead of telling those, just go general, it's working out, it's okay, I don't have to figure this all out. Like if you can just soothe yourself, like with general statements, if you only did that, things would just naturally get better. And then when affirming for what you want feels good, by all means, do it, milk it, get, as Abraham Hicks says, like get out ahead of it, create that positive momentum. But when you're feeling resistant, when you're affirming and it's just not feeling right and you feel like you're resisting it, go general. Like you want to go with the flow with this, like just let it be easy. Does that make sense? Like downstream. Okay. Lacey says, just a reminder that you are loved, important, and strong. It is okay to be selfish and love you first. Amen. That is so true. Thank you for sharing that. Very true. Okay, some of these questions are not what I do. I don't do yes or no questions, guys, just for anyone new hopping on. Okay. So I see more people on here joining. Welcome to everyone new. Do you guys have any questions about what we're talking about self-concept, about law of assumption, affirming techniques, manifesting? Does anyone have any questions? You're welcome, Debbie. So, this would be a good thing to riff on while I wait to see if you guys have any questions, but like, because a lot of people do ask yes, no questions, and I notice, so I read tarot, I do, but I do it very intentionally in order to like help you align your energy, not to answer yes, no things, because I'm all about you deciding. So something you can do, guys, when you hear information, like I would recommend to not watch too many tarot things. If you're wanting to really get serious about creating your reality, I would look for people who are doing tarot in a way that's empowering, not like giving your power away to them, okay? And something you can ask yourself when you hear something, whether it's from a tarot reader, whether it's someone random giving you their opinion, whether it's something you see on TV, whatever it is, or a thought in your mind, you can ask yourself, do I want to be right about this? Do I want this to be true for me? If the answer is yes, then claim it and decide that that's your truth. If it's a hell no, then don't accept it. That's your power. You have the ability to accept or reject anything. Because back to quantum physics, right? Like, everything's possible. Every probability and possibility exists. You are infinite. You can tune into any reality that you want. This is why, like, you know, for example, I don't watch the news. I don't have a lot of social media. I have YouTube and I have TikTok. Like, that's just for me because that's what feels good to me. I really don't care about getting too many people. I don't really care about anyone's opinion. I don't want to hear a negative narrative because I'm just happily living in my own world, creating my own life. Yeah. And I know that like the world often will tell you that that's irresponsible, but I'll tell you what, when I started being really intentional about what I fed my energy into and about understanding that I'm the authority in my life and I don't give my power away to anyone, things started getting really good for me because I began to intentionally create my life. And each and every one of us has that power. Okay, Mashed says, I feel like I don't really want my desire anymore. Can I still stay open to receiving it? Yeah, you can. Okay, so this is actually interesting. A lot of my clients will say this when they're like on the verge of a breakthrough. So it can be one of two things. I mean, it could be more than this, but what I would say with this typically is either you're in the space where you're just like, you've really come into alignment with who you are. You're feeling whole and complete within yourself and you're detached from needing it to show up in a certain way. And actually when you reach that level of detachment is when you're energetically like usually open to let it come in. You're kind of like, it could happen, it could not happen. You know, like let's say you're wanting love or money or whatever. You're like, it doesn't need to come through this specific person or specific channel. Like if it does, great. If not, whatever. I know I'm still going to get the money and the love or the health or whatever that you desire. So that can be that. Or sometimes as we're doing this inner work, we realize that the things we thought we really wanted maybe doesn't light us up after all, you know? And even those things, if they got us into doing the inner work, like it still was like a step in the right direction. Sometimes we just have to be open for a course redirection. I just always stay open. So I like to be like, you know, when I'm setting my intentions, I'm saying I'm open to this or something better. And just always leave room, even if it's something that you're certain you want. Let's say it's a specific thing that you've known since you're a little child that you want. You can always still leave room for magic and miracles because think about it, the things that we want, we only know to want those because of where our consciousness has been at in the past. So there are things beyond that you're not even aware of, right? So, you know, always leave room for magic and miracles, but I think detached is good. Detached is really good. Not that you give up on wanting, you know, the general things that you want, but like detached from how it needs to show up or needing it right this second. Like being good without it is good. You know, like we always see this with love, right? It's like when you're not looking, then you attract the partner in, right? Okay, Mash says, yes, because it's the feeling behind the thing that I want, not the object. This is a beautiful place to be. This is really good. Like I still feel the whole and complete, but I still feel the desire. Thank you. You're welcome. Yeah. So it's kind of like one foot in gratitude, one foot in desire, right? Like finding that balance between being really good with where you are and happy with what you have and knowing that more is available to you. And of course, more is going to come. Of course, you're going to grow and evolve because that's just how life works. You're always receiving more and more, better and better. We're always expanding, but being open to like when and how, like, because sometimes we have an idea of when it needs to happen by, or we have an idea of how it needs to show up or what it needs to look like. And sometimes that's what we think we want, but really there's something that could be even better. And just know that like you are the universe, so you're never going to screw yourself over, right? Like it's safe to trust the universe. Yeah. Does that make sense? But yeah, that makes me really happy to hear that you're in that energy because that is like the perfect energetic balance to really be in a clear and open channel to receive. Yeah. Does anyone have any questions about that? Welcome to everyone who is joining. Happy Friday. Does anyone have any fun plans this weekend? Feel free to chit chat. You can let me know where you're joining from. I'm feeling to pull one more one or two more cards, just like a general reading, like a general message for everyone on here, and feel free to let me know if it resonates. I do personal readings, all of that, and like email coaching, and I have programs, self-concept guide. I have a lot of tools, YouTube channels, so all of that is at the top of my page. And I always post content about law of assumption, manifestation, all of these things, and mindset. So feel free to follow me here if you want. What came out? Activation, wind, ooh, and shape-shifting. Okay. So I like that both of these are like have to do with the element of air. And I think it's interesting because we're talking about how we have the power to decide. And it's like, you know, what you choose to activate within you is what will cause your circumstances to change. So what I'm getting from this is like really speaking life into yourself and into what it is you want to create, understanding that that's how powerful you are. Air, in traditional tarot, represents the element of air represents our thoughts. It's like cerebral energy. It can be like Gemini, Libra, Aquarius energy, but it has to do with our thoughts, our communication, our words. And we were just talking about how your thoughts are affirmations. So as you intentionally steer your energy, your thoughts, your words in alignment with where you want to go, you tap into that like magician energy to be the shapeshifter and shift your reality and shift your paradigm and create a whole new world for yourself. Hi, buddy. You want to come say hi? My dog's here. He might join us. Do you want to come? Come here. You're welcome, Mashed. Hello, everyone joining. Come here, buddy. Come here. Oh, he's being shy. Maybe he'll come. I have a little chihuahua. He's so cute. He's a little mama boy. Does anyone have any questions about manifesting, law of assumption, self-concept, manifesting techniques? I'm down to stay on for a little bit longer if you guys want. Are you going to come or what? I think they want to see how handsome you are. Come here. Sweet chat. I'm going to get him. Hang on. Come here, buddy. Come in. Oh, you're being shy. Are you being shy? We know you're not shy. Oh, he's so cute. Qué lindo. Okay, you said hi to the people, so you can go back. Go your spot. Go your spot. Oh no, he wants to come back. Little cutie. Let me read here. How does your crush feel about you? I don't do those kinds of questions, guys. You decide. Do you want your crush to like you? Start affirming that your crush is smitten by you. Start affirming that anyone you're interested in is automatically interested in you because you're amazing. Why wouldn't they be? Yeah? You think he's cute? You're my little baby boy. He's such a sweetie. Sorry, I'm just laughing at some of these interesting comments. Oh, well, thanks for hanging out, guys. I'll stay for like another minute. If anyone has any questions, I'd be happy to take like one or two more. But this was a fun chat. I could talk about this stuff all day, and it's nice to get to know some of you guys. Are you going to come back or what? He's like sitting next to me like he wants to get back on camera. He's not shy, but he's a little camera shy. Will my husband be coming back home to spend time with me tonight? Oh my gosh. Well, I don't know why these questions keep coming up because I keep stating that I don't do these kinds of questions. I want to ask you, Madame, who asked this, Nightshade, Nicole, will my husband be coming back home to spend time with me tonight? Are you familiar with the law of assumption and manifestation? Do you understand that? Like how that works? Do you know what that is? Because that's what we're talking about, and that's what I teach. So I don't do yes, no questions because to me that's very disempowering. I teach you how to decide what you want and intentionally create that. Mash says, have a wonderful day and thank you again. You are so welcome. I hope I see you on a live again soon. Have a great weekend too. Okay, Michael's getting blocked because I'm done with these fucking religious people on here. Sorry, it's like if you do more than 2 stupid comments, you're getting blocked. You've heard of it. Okay, so Nightshade, or sorry, Nicole, I think you said your name was, right? If you want to learn more about it, look it up on YouTube, or you can check out my page, because my page on here, my profile on here, that's what I teach. So I know like sometimes when I get out the cards, people are like, want to ask yes, no questions. And I know a lot of readers read like that. What I do is I teach people how to really get into their power to create and how to decide how life gets to work for them. So it's not about like focusing on people or things outside of you. It's about understanding that you get to direct the energy. So like in this instance, I would ask you, well, what do you want? Do you want your husband to spend time with you? Then yeah, affirm that, like decide that. Of course he's going to spend time with you. And instead of like focusing on what's happened in the past or what current circumstances look like, decide how you want it to be moving forward and really step into that. So if you're familiar with affirming, you affirm like, of course he wants to spend time with me. I'm always prioritized. Everything always works out. There's nothing in the way of me and my husband and our relationship, you know, things like that. It's interesting because people ask a lot about relationship stuff. And I think, you know, sometimes it's easier for us to understand like manifesting money or manifesting certain things like material things. But when it has to do with other people, sometimes we get hung up on that because we think that everyone's has free will. And I mean, essentially people do, but what you need to understand is that in your reality, you're the only one with free will. So in your reality, you get to decide. You get to decide how it goes. You get to, you get to tell the story, and based off of the story you're telling, it determines what version of someone you're going to get. So, you know, you could manifest a version of your husband who never has time for you, or if you identify as someone who's always prioritized and you tell a favorable story of, I'm always shown up for, of course I am, there's nothing in the way, then you're going to manifest a version of your husband who always is there for you. Does that make sense? If you're not super familiar with law of assumption, it may sound a little crazy at first, but feel free to check out my content, you know. Oh my God. Where are all of these these like spam accounts of people telling me they're praying for my soul? I'm literally like blocking them. Oh my gosh. Anyway, well guys, thank you to everyone who asked questions. Okay, were you saying, Nicole, that made sense? I hope it made sense. But feel free to check out my page because I talk about this a lot. Like, I'm someone who actually learned a lot about manifesting for years, but I was really struggling to manifest what I wanted until I understood law of assumption and like self-concept. And it seemed really hard for me because I was someone who really struggled in a lot of areas of life. Like I was not set up for success. Like I did not have like a great childhood or anything. So I understandably felt very victimized in every area of my life. And it was very hard for me to come to terms with the fact that it was me creating and that I had the option to decide. But you know, kind of what helped me was like really understanding self-concept. So that might be something that you want to look into, like look into self-concept. I talk about that a lot. I really recommend like nighttime affirmation tracks while you sleep to help reprogram your subconscious. So those could be some things you could look at. And I also do coaching and readings if you ever want anything. But yeah, I have a ton of free content. Let me read what you say here. Oh, you read The Game of Life and How to Play It. Oh my gosh, by Florence Scovel Shinn. Yeah, that's such a good one. Also, Magic Path of Intuition, I believe she wrote, which is really good too. Yeah, this is like this kind of content's what really helped me. But it did, I understand because I actually heard about law of assumption from some YouTubers years ago, and it just really didn't resonate because I wasn't really in my power. I deep down didn't really believe that I created my reality. So you might want to look into some like nighttime affirmation tracks. Another book that you might resonate with if you want to understand more about like the subconscious mind and how to reprogram it and like how we're creating our reality is I think it's called The Power of Your Subconscious Mind. It's Dr. Joseph Murphy, and like that you can just listen to it for free on YouTube. So I always recommend that one to all my clients because it kind of helps you understand the scientific side of it, because sometimes like our logical brain needs a little help to like get on board with it. But yeah, this is what I teach. And I love it because I love helping people who, especially people who've known about law of attraction or manifestation, but have had trouble getting results. Like this is where where clients tend to see the shift is, well, they always do when they do it correctly, but you just got to be patient with yourself and your journey and like where you're at, but keep at it, keep going, keep growing, like keep working on your mindset, like because it's you creating it, and you can have whatever you want. And that's what I want for you guys. I want for you guys to get what you want because you deserve it. And why not, you know? So what time is it? It's almost 4. Well, I'm in California, so it's almost 4 here. I don't know where everyone's tuning in from, but it was really nice to hang out with you guys and chat about this. I'll be back on again next week. Probably not this weekend, but like next week I will. So I hope you guys have a good weekend. If you haven't given me a follow yet and you like this content, feel free to do that. I post content every day. If you're interested in support, you can look at all the offers in my bio and my YouTube channels, all the things. I'm sending you guys love. Have a good weekend. Bye.